Good morning, John.
Good morning.
How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Long time no see.
Long time no podcast.
It's been a minute. Like we told everybody, we might
Exactly.
take off a little
Yep.
hiatus. Is that the right word?
I think so. And we did.
We did.
Yeah. It was kind
No,
of
it just seemed like, I don't know,
stuff.
life
Well,
life
you know,
and
we
hunting
knew.
and
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we knew going into hunting season
Yeah.
that was going to be hard to keep up anyway.
we actually threatened a couple times to get together, and then last minute it's like, I got to do this or I'm going to be here.
Well, and then I think part of it too was we knew we weren't going to be consistent with them. So
True.
what's the point?
Yeah.
Right. So
Now we're
whether
back on
putting
track.
out, not good quality products,
Yeah.
or inconsistent,
Yeah.
then we'd say,
Well,
wait.
hopefully we'll get ahead of like this year, going into this year. We'll just try to stay way ahead. I know we got quite a few guests and stuff coming up here
Yeah.
that we can stay ahead of you and I, especially my schedule with me
Yeah.
working 7 on, 7 off.
Right.
I'm only available every other week.
Exactly.
And so we got to try to cram them in there. And but we'll get ahead enough so maybe we can try to run it through hunting season. But
We'll see.
See what kind of tags we draw.
We've got bears and spring. Spring could be a little tough. We made it last year, obviously.
yeah,
But
yeah, because
I can see that being a bit of an issue, maybe.
maybe if we stay.
With
I
shed
mean, I'm
hunting and
hoping we
bearing.
can get ahead enough that we can
Right.
do that.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, shed
We'll
hunts.
make it work.
We got a shed hunting guest coming up for too long.
Yeah.
A master shed hunter.
Right.
Well, one of the original.
One of the OGs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah, he's awesome. So that'll be
Yeah.
fun.
That will be.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I'm assuming holidays are good and all that.
Holidays were awesome. Had all but one of my 5 children home, so that was
cool.
super cool, and their spouses and girlfriends and all that kind of stuff.
Nice.
So we had a great holiday season. Yeah,
Good.
It was awesome.
Our winter's kind of been mild.
Very mild. Snowed last night. But
Yeah.
it's been pretty mild. It got cold as heck.
It has. I've liked it for me, working on my trophy room and stuff. It's been nice because I've been able to finish getting some stuff done on the outside.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And so the outside's all done. We can talk about that
Yep.
for a little bit.
Yeah, outside's. I got to put just a little bit of trim up, and because of my schedule, my work schedule, what I was trying to do is just get enough, buy enough at that time. I didn't like it laying around unless I'm ready to put it up,
Right.
and I would just buy enough, put it up, and then when I got to that goal, then if I had time to do more, I'd do more. But with me doing a good portion of it, the construction and everything, I haven't been in a huge hurry. I actually wanted it done before the holidays, but I didn't want to have.
we made that bet, actually, didn't we? About before Thanksgiving, you were going to be done?
I don't know. I lost. But I know I have had good intentions,
Right.
but
It's a lot of work.
it is.
That's a
It is,
big
especially
addition.
getting electrical, and
Yeah.
I did all that, and then waiting for the inspector and
That's a big-
insulation,
right.
sheetrock, tape, and texture. Now the painting's just about done, and once it's done, then I can start on the fun part where you actually see,
The finished product.
yeah,
coming along.
the finish work and
It's going to be
stuff.
sweet.
But yeah, until then, you don't realize how much there is to do, and
Right.
and I just figured too, we're not relying on it to live. So instead of half-assing it to try to hurry and get it done, I'd rather have it take a little longer. Fortunately, and I don't know if I've ever talked about this, actually a friend of mine ended up buying my old house. And so I was able to leave quite a few mounts there.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're safe, they're indoors, and they're not
Right.
storm and the elements. And I've seen a lot of bad things happen to mounts when people have done that.
Right.
In fact, we ran into him the other day, and he's, told him we're getting closer, and he's kind of bummed because he goes, I don't know when I'm gonna decorate it. He goes, it's gonna be empty. So
He's going to have some holes to fill in that room
yeah,
for
he's
sure.
gonna have a lot of pictures to hang.
Exactly. That's funny.
But it'll be good. We'll have to do maybe a podcast. From
We
there.
will. Yeah, I think we've talked about that. So.
Yeah, especially if we get a bigger group because you have more
A little more
furniture,
room.
more room. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
So
Cool.
yeah. And you? Anything going on here?
I'm editing videos. I'm trying to get all of our hunts
They'll be popping off pretty soon.
Yeah, we're starting the antelope portion of our series of hunts going on. So those will start dropping
This week?
Yeah, this week. So probably might be before we drop this. I'm not sure. I don't know when we're going to release this, but
Yeah, probably will
Anyway.
be. Actually, yeah.
yeah. Well, whatever. We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
If it's not they're probably already up on YouTube. At least one, the first hunt. And we got 8 antelope hunts. And had to get pretty creative on how to edit those because they were so fast. They were so short. Not all of them, but they were. A lot of them were really short, not much footage. So it took some creative editing, right, to make a video out of them. But
I mean, like I know, like mine and Tussie's, and even there's been a couple others. They ended so quick. Look at yours and your son's.
Right.
I mean, they're just
Jack's. Yeah,
Jack's.
Mine was a little longer because it took me a few days.
Jack's
but
was
20 minutes. So.
minus 20 minutes almost.
Yeah, it's hard to get a lot of footage in a 20-minute video, or a 20-minute hunt, but.
Well, and you just a lot of times you don't even know. You try to get some B-roll, but when it ends up happening pretty quick,
right?
Then you don't get a chance to get a lot of you see antelope out there quite a ways away,
right?
And
that gets boring to watch after a while, though.
It does. And they're so far away. I mean, unless you have huge lenses, they're just out there.
Right.
You know, how many times. I have seen it done, and I remember, I'm not going to say his name because he's a very well-known TV personality, but, my point is we don't do this type of thing. It's pretty raw what we do.
Yeah.
Is this particular gentleman flew in, this was in Kansas, and they had a animal they've been stuffed away on, and it was a ranch, and it was free roaming, but it was a ranch, private ranch, and they weren't letting anybody hunt over in that area because they wanted to keep this buck for this one particular guy. So he flew in the morning. We all went and got our clients, and everyone dispersed. Shot it that afternoon, and then spent like 2 days reenacting everything to make it look like it was the last evening of the last day.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I so want to
change clothes and everything. Yeah.
I so want to stay away from that kind of stuff.
That was my point. Is that that's why we don't maybe get as much footage as some.
Exactly.
I'd rather do it that way.
Me too. And when I, several years ago when I first started doing the whole YouTube thing, I had a series that I called As Real As It Gets, and that's what I wanted to focus on was just the actual hunt and kind of how things lay out. And I think a lot of guys are doing that now, you know, but gosh, I don't know, that wrecks things in my book.
Yeah, I did actually. I remember one TV show that it was an antelope hunt with a rifle, and I'd never shot an antelope with a rifle. I'd killed several with a bow. I mean, and nothing against rifle hunting at all, but when you're used to sneaking up on them with a bow, and at that time, I didn't know if I had killed one over water yet. I think everything I'd killed was spot and stock. I probably killed, I don't know, half a dozen to a dozen, whatever, at that time. But getting 150 yards, there was enough sagebrush and stuff there. It wasn't that tough. It was pretty tall sagebrush. It's kind of anticlimactic in a way.
Sure.
Plus, I hadn't shot a rifle. That was actually in 2001. I think the previous rifle hunt I went on was like 1987. Yeah. So it'd been a few years. And I shot it, and I mean, my buddy, we had to do cutaways. That's they call them cutaways.
Yeah.
You go back and reenact and crawl and all that fun stuff. Where the camera's in front of you crawling, and the camera's already on the animal when you walk up to it. You know those videos.
Absolutely.
Anyway, he kept telling me, man, you got to act. I don't know how many times we had to redo it. He goes, you got to act more excited. I mean, time we actually got to the antelope to gut it, it was starting to kind of bloat a little.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but that was kind of, like I said, anticlimactic.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know.
Fun experience, but
yeah. I think there's other ways you can make those better videos, but back then, I mean, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
It was pretty new.
Well, and I know like you upgraded a lot of your editing stuff this last year, and
Yep.
what a difference it's made for you.
Oh, yeah.
Helping.
Yeah, you can do a lot more, and things are a lot faster to do and whatnot. So that
Even
helps.
from the time we started our
podcast.
first podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember you
It
saying.
didn't take me long to decide that I needed to do something different for sure. So
Well, we've had to edit very little as far as stopping the whole thing. I
Right.
mean, you just have to go from one to the other,
absolutely, yeah.
which is good.
Yeah, camera wise, yeah.
Not too many
So-
bleeps.
No, there's nothing wrong with cussing, but
Yeah.
I don't very much. So
Me either.
at least not on camera. Now, I might at home. I mean, I do cuss. I like to cuss. I just don't on camera very much. I've had that discussion with some people that I work with, and they kind of laugh at the fact that I don't cuss, and it's like
At work, you don't?
No, I mean on my podcast.
Oh, gotcha.
They'll listen
Because they're
to
like,
them.
is that you?
Right, exactly. It's like, I don't think it's necessary, whatever. If it
Yeah.
happens, it happens. It's fine, but
Yeah.
I don't typically cut them out, but
Right.
it's just not my thing.
Right. So we got that going on. We got lots of guests coming on. We got bear season
Yeah.
a few months away, but
Yeah. We never did talk about the deer seasons. I think our last podcast was right after elk season, which wasn't very good, but we did. Frank and I had a couple of mule deer tags, late season muzzleloader tags, which is a super. And I'll just talk about this real quick, but because it's not super exciting, we sat in a tent for 3 days waiting for the weather to break.
I remember getting the text from you.
Yes, every day. It was like, you get out and it'd clear up for a little bit, so you'd go, and by the time you got anywhere, it would be all either snowing or raining, or the fog was the worst because you couldn't see anything.
Yeah. How far were you hunting from where you camped?
Not very far at all. In fact, some of the areas we could step out, like when it was nice, I could step just outside the tent with a spotting scope and glass and see deer that way. So we camped really pretty close, down in the base where the hills start going up, and you glass those ridge lines and stuff, and I've had some good success right there, so that's why we camped there, to stay close to kind of where we thought we'd want to be, which didn't work out very well because it's the third time I've drawn that muzzleloader tag, and the first 2 times the deer were in the exact same spots. So I was betting on it's going to be that way again. It made sense because that was 2 years. There was a year in between. You have to set a year out, and I got lucky enough to draw it the year after that. But anyway, this year it was almost void of deer in that spot. Yeah, I mean there was a few, but not. Man, before there was just herds, and we've talked about on other podcasts, you just go check the herds every day. Well, we couldn't even find any herds this year. So we had to do different
strategy.
Yeah, different strategy. You check some new spots, some other spots where I had seen deer. In fact, I missed a really nice buck the first year I drew it. In this one spot, and that actually ended up being where we ended up killing both the bucks that we shot. It was kind of in that same area, but we did get to find some new spots that I really, really liked. But we didn't, and
do you think they weren't quite there yet?
I don't. It's hard to say. Yeah, it's usually
it's mild winters. What I was thinking.
No, exactly, but it's a rut hunt. It's November. But it's the first part of November, so they're really just starting to come into the rut. I think it ended on November 14th. And we went up on, I want to say the 4th or 5th or something like that. Yeah, I think the 5th. Yeah, the 5th. And hunted, the plan was to hunt all the way till the end of the season. Well, after sitting in that tent for 3 days, it got beautiful. Like, it was cold as heck, but it was blue skies. Had snowed a lot. We couldn't get very far in the side by sides or anything like that. So we got as far as we could, and then we would walk.
Wait a minute. You walked?
Yes,
I know you walk. I know that.
Well, if you watch the video, you will realize I did not walk very far. Yeah, right.
Because a lot of people, if they can't get there in a vehicle, side by side, 4-wheeler or a pickup, then they're...
Yeah. Well, some of the walking was in vain because, gosh, I kept trying the spots that I'd always seen them in the past, and we
did
just
it drift
couldn't find
much?
them.
Was it wind?
No, Really, that's probably our only savior. We got as far as we did because it did not drift much, but it was deep enough. We got, we could get so far, and then it was just, we were just pushing snow with a buggy, and we just couldn't get any further. So had we had chains, probably could have made it a little further, but tracks, we definitely could have made it.
You gonna have those by next year then?
No, that's expensive. Unless someone would like to sponsor us with tracks, we'll be happy to talk.
Try them out.
Exactly. No, but yeah. Anyway, that day it just cleared her deer. We found a lot of deer, and I shot a pretty okay buck, but wasn't huge. But
nothing like you killed there, huh?
No, not even close. But I shot him because he has a crown point on one side, and he's super cool looking, but he's not a very, he's a nice 3x4. I mean, he's not small, but he's just a medium-sized buck.
Yeah.
And then Frank doesn't really care. He shot a little 2-point,
but considering what you were seeing and being in your tent probably didn't help for 3 days.
Yeah, I mean, we could have held out, but I didn't know. The weather was getting more and more snow almost every day, so we didn't know how far we were going to be able to get eventually anyway.
I did watch a video the other day, and it was backcountry hunting, and these guys went in miles and miles, like 5-6 miles, and one guy ended up shooting a 2-point, nice 2-point and everything, but I was thinking,
Could have done that from the road.
He didn't get it from the road.
No,
I mean, he was a long ass ways in there, but I'm thinking, that's okay if he wants to do that. There's nothing wrong with.
There's nothing wrong with that. We like to meet, and I'd rather kill something than go home empty-handed.
Yeah.
Just because we do like to meet. So
yeah,
that's okay. I always tried to be a trophy hunter, but it never works out very well for me unless one steps out right away.
Very rarely have I.
Yeah.
Only a handful of times I went, okay, I'm not going to shoot unless I get that buck or bull.
And I've done that too. Yeah. The biggest buck I shot over there, I had passed on a lot of deer.
Is that your first year or second?
Though that was the first one I shot up there. Yeah. And but I had been seeing so many, it was easy to realize pretty quickly that let's hold out.
You're gonna be able to pick.
Yeah.
Be picky.
Well, and then it didn't hurt that the very first day I was there and I was driving to where I wanted to go, I saw a super nice buck, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be easy. Of course, I didn't get him, but but then it was just all small, little, 130, 140 class 4 points and 3 points and a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I had decided I was going to wait. And the very last day, that's when I got lucky, and bam, he was right there.
Nice.
It worked out.
Everything worked out.
Good.
Yeah. Well, we'll look forward. I know you got some of the video, right? Of those deer hunts.
We got okay video on that. Not great. The when I actually shot the buck, I shot. I'll let you guys watch the video. So, but it's it's on there.
Did he pull a John?
You get to see him. Well, he turned everything on. He saw the deer for a little while. He just got distracted. Frank, I'm talking about with the video camera. So
when those get ready to release, we should probably have Frank in here to defend himself.
Probably. It doesn't help that I had missed a couple of shots before that, so he probably was like, "He ain't gonna hit it anyway." What's the point?
Did he get those on video?
No, thank goodness. Yeah, we had actually split up a little bit because there was the 2 bucks were together, and we decided, well, let's try and kill both these bucks, and we didn't kill either one.
Yeah.
Well, it was the buck I ended up killing, but at that point, I had missed him a couple times. And before I killed him, yeah. Oh yeah. It's crazy.
And you got that new gun this year. Did you like the way the gun?
I did, and it was 100% me. I had a misfire, and I think my cap had got wet. And I'm going to use this for an excuse. I think that's why I missed a few times, because I think in my head it wasn't going to go off. Oh, the gun, because it didn't the very first time I shot. Oh, but it did go off every time after that. I put a new cap on.
Like I said, the only experience I have with muzzleloaders is turkey hunting with a shotgun muzzleloader. Yeah. Can you do something and just not put a cap until right before you're ready to shoot, or is that too much?
No, you don't. I don't. Well, so I actually, it wasn't the cap. I shouldn't have said that. It was the I think it's called the nipple.
Yeah,
and I think it was
yep.
moist. And I think the fire from the cap when it went off, it didn't go.
Okay.
It didn't ignite the powder.
Gotcha.
But I do think it dried that out enough that when I put a new cap
one.
on, and somebody can correct me. I'm not a muzzleloader guru by any means, so I don't really know. But that's what in my head, I think
That
that's
makes
what happened.
sense. I mean, if it gets, I remember
Because it went off every time after that.
After that?
Yeah.
I remember when I've guided some moose or muzzleloader hunts, most everybody would always put black tape over the end of the barrel,
Right.
if nothing else,
Right.
to get any type of
Well, I
moisture.
always kept a sleeve over the whole gun to protect it, so I didn't use the black tape thing. But I just feel like I don't know why. I mean, I didn't, and I always keep the gun outside. I don't bring it in the tent,
Yes,
so you don't want the temperature change because
and
I
the
know
moisture,
better than
yeah.
that. But
And I haven't experienced that with my hunters. They all left them out. Same thing.
Yeah.
But I had seen some people in camp
bringing them in and stuff.
Yeah, that were bringing them in and misfire, and they attested it to that.
Yeah.
I do remember one time a guy showing up from back east, brought his muzzleloader to Arizona in the box with all the components that he hoped was going to work out,
Right,
you know. And,
right.
and I know that we talked about this before. You know, muzzleloader, getting the right load and the right powder and the right amount of powder, blah, 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 patches and all that stuff.
Yep.
All that makes a difference.
Yep.
And amazingly enough, he ended up killing one. And everything did work. But I mean, he was going, off of, I think, manufacturer recommendations or
Right.
whatever, which
happened to work.
it happened to work.
Right.
But you never know. That's a long, expensive,
It is.
you know, a one-on-one hunt.
Yeah.
And a long travel from back east
Right.
to not even.
Oh, no kidding. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think in Idaho, you know, with the restrictions that we have on muzzleloaders, you can't, you know, you got to use, there's certain, you know, we can't use scopes, first of all. You have to have open sights. Exposed cap, you can't use 209 primers. Loose powder, you can't use pellets. You know, all that stuff adds up to you not being able to shoot very far anyway,
Right.
which I kind of like that.
Yeah.
The bullet choice, I think they could maybe work
Yeah.
on that because I think a lot of people probably wound animals.
Yeah.
It's just a lead. You know, you can't use.
Sabots. Or
Yeah.
those
Well, you can use sabots. I think the lead. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever they're called.
Yeah.
I don't get to shoot them, so I don't.
The other ones.
Yes, the other ones.
Except-
I'm sure someone will correct me and tell me what they're called. But
Unless you're in a short range
range,
weapon.
yeah, that changes.
If it's a
all
short
that.
range weapon hunt and anything goes,
Yep, that's exactly right.
which, I mean, but
It's weird, huh?
But yeah, it
Isn't
is.
that weird?
It is.
That
but,
is a good point. I knew that, but I hadn't thought about it.
But the only thing is, I mean, like some of these muzzleloaders, I didn't watch the video, but I know it popped up something about somebody shooting, I want to say a deer or an elk, but I think it was a deer, at like 505 yards with a muzzleloader.
Yeah.
But my point is, that takes away to me, because I mean, I know it's a little bit different than archery, but, you know, you got a different type of weapon, but it's still a shorter range weapon, you know, a muzzleloader is.
Right.
Traditionally.
Right.
Or like Idaho is. And, but I kind of think that kind of takes away from, you know, if you
The
can
whole
shoot
idea
stuff.
behind it, right? Why not just shoot a rifle at that point?
I mean, especially now that they're getting they're making them so sophisticated now that they're actually where rifles used to be. Because, you know,
true.
Years ago, no one even thought of taking or very rarely taking a 500-yard, unless it was a Hail Mary shot with a rifle.
That's true.
Until this long-range thing started.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And so now the muzzleloaders have gotten there.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. I don't know. I do like a lot of the rules that we have in Idaho for muzzleloaders.
The bullet thing, and I know I've heard enough people talk about that, the bullet restrictions. I think it would just help, you know,
recovery. Efforts. Yeah, no, I agree.
Because there are times I did see an elk one time that in New Mexico that was shot, and it was hit 5 times, and it wasn't like it was way out there. I can't remember the yardage. I was watching up the hill and I was watching down on the guide. I was helping somebody and his hunters, But gosh, I can't remember how far it was, so I don't want to exaggerate. But I know that it wasn't getting great penetration. Like, I think 2, it hit him every time, but only 2 like penetrated the chest. Actually penetrate, a couple of them hit the rib bones and stopped.
Gotcha, really?
Skin, yeah.
Well, they definitely don't exit a lot often.
No.
I don't know that I don't remember if I've had one exit through or not, especially on elk. Like, that bull I shot twice, and both the bulls were still in them.
Oh, they penetrated the chest.
They did, yeah. They were fine. Like, they were good. They worked good. But the other thought of that too is, like, with no scope and a bad bullet, you got to almost make a perfect shot to kill that animal, and it's hard to do with open sights.
Sure,
your shot placement's going to probably be off a little bit.
Oh yeah,
I mean, mine certainly have been, but I think that adds to wounded animals is people will hit them, but their shot placement's not great because they're shooting open sights.
Did you shoot sticks?
I did. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I was just wondering if that's...
Yeah, you have. I
with
feel
open
like
sights, that's why I was thinking. I think I would for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a really bummer too, because my best shot that was the misfire was only, I don't even think it was 50 yards. And so misfire, and then he took off, and then they were longer shots at that point.
He heard
and
the
I just
click?
missed. Yeah, I mean, like, the cap went off, so it was, but no, like, big, loud bang. And then when I shot him, I think it was like 62 yards or something.
Oh, that's still not too bad. Did you make a good shot then?
Oh, yeah. He ran probably, excuse me, wow. He ran probably 40 yards maybe, and then just was on a snowy hillside, which was pretty steep, and so he dropped and just started sliding downhill, which was super cool.
In the right direction?
In the right direction. He got stuck behind a tree, so I had to go give him some help after the fact, but it was nice. It was easy, and it was an easy get that. Well, it was easy to get him to the road, but we had walked probably a mile up the road, and then we hunted from there, and so we got him down the road to the road. And being the seasoned hunter that I am, I did not have a knife with me. So I had to drag him like a mile.
At least archery hunting you can do with a broadhead, but you don't even have nothing to...
I had nothing. So I had to drag him, guts and all. I guess I could have walked down and got but it was snowy and it was downhill, so it wasn't horrible, but it definitely was a workout. Not one of my finer moments.
Soon you left your pack and everything, huh?
I did. Yeah, I left my pack.
Well, you better have.
Yeah, I had
if you left your pack, didn't leave your pack and didn't have a knife,
right. I think I just threw my speed loaders for my muzzle loader in my pockets, and my binoculars and rangefinder and my rifle, and Frank grabbed the camera.
Oh.
And neither one of us had a freaking knife with us back in the damn truck or buggy, but.
Well.
I'd like to say I won't never do that again, but I probably will.
Yeah, those things happen. I mean, I really try to go overboard and be prepared.
Yeah.
But then there's those times like that. I'm not going to be very far away,
right?
Or whatever. And then,
well, okay. So originally we saw him again. We were sitting at the buggy still, and we could see him up on the ridge, and he wasn't that far away. So that's why I was thinking I'll just grab this stuff real quick and go. Well, by the time we bumped him a couple of times, luckily he was in the rut, and he had probably, 5 or 6 does with him, if I remember right.
Enough for him to keep him busy.
One of them was hot, and he did not want to leave her, and so, yeah.
Did you get some ruddy action on video where they're...
No, pushing them around a little bit, but no, not really. But he
I love watching them snap their heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In years past on that hunt, or on any of those late hunts I've had, we've had some great rutting action on film, but
I remember one year I was guiding in Nevada, and we kind of put this buck to bed with a doe, and got back there the next day before daylight, and it's really not even, I really am surprised I was even able to see, but I knew where that saddle was, and I got my spotting scope out, and I'm looking, and I'm thinking, gosh, that almost looks like something white. Could that be a deer's butt? Mm-hmm. I mean, they literally didn't move 50 yards from the night before. They stayed right there. And that doe must have been hot. But anyway, all of a sudden, that white thing went and turned, and I went, oh, that's that buck. That was his face.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And then as it got a little lighter, it's like, yep, that's what it is. He was rutting her pretty hard.
Yeah. That's so much fun to watch.
It is.
I could watch that a lot.
I know watching whitetail rut and stuff too is lots of fun, and but a lot of times they're on the move, especially if you're like sitting in a stand. You hear them
pass by.
Yeah, and they're
Right.
if they're on a mission. You haven't no whitetail, have you at all?
Once. Yeah.
But when they're on a mission, I know that they're like a bloodhound.
Right.
Got their nose all but down. They're just following.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Hopefully this year I'll get to hunt Iowa.
Yeah.
I got enough points.
Yeah. You need to start cashing in that stuff.
I'm going to. I kind of made my mind up this year that I'm going to really concentrate on trying to draw not a whole bunch of tags, but I want to actually, I've been mostly getting points.
Yeah.
So I've got a fair amount of points in several states.
Mm-hmm.
But after I get my printout and stuff from Hunting Fool the other day, I started looking at, what I'm going to change. And I think I'm going to start cashing in and try to get these hunts done.
Right.
Instead of waiting, and maybe even go to a unit that's a little bit easier to draw.
Yeah.
Even if I don't have to kill.
The quality's not as
maybe not as good. But most of the places you put in, there's good quality there, but maybe not as many.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Might take a little bit more work trying to find them, but
right.
And I don't care about that. But really, it's all about the hunt and everything too. It's not necessarily about killing the biggest or anything. I've had some of my greatest hunts have been not necessarily huge, the biggest animals I've killed.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So we'll see how that goes.
Right.
But I'm gonna try to cash it.
It'll be starting to put in for stuff.
Yeah, I got to put in for Arizona here. I think we got till just about ready to open up until February 14th. So I got to get that.
Yeah.
That's one of the states.
Yeah.
I can't remember how many points I got, but me and a couple other guys, and one guy's got a couple points more than me, another guy's got like 4 or 5, and we're going to put together as a group and try to draw maybe a unit that's not quite as hard to draw, but still going to have a good amount of elk and,
Right.
So maybe we can draw.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We'll see.
Cool. Yeah.
Anyway.
Whatever. We got a lot of stuff to do between now and then.
Yeah,
I'm excited for shed season too.
Yeah.
Still a couple months out, but
is
whatever.
it? I've already seen a few people posting.
The white tails are dropping. I think deer are starting to drop.
These have been muleys.
Mule deers, I mean. Mule deers.
Deers?
Mule deers. The mule deers are dropping. I usually wait till I kind of, whatever. You don't want to push them. I mean, I don't like to do that.
It's to that point now where they might be starting, but yet it's not enough. You probably might be pushing stuff, right?
Well, 100%. Yeah, shoot. You start too early. One, you're just pushing them around when they're most vulnerable too. But also, you're moving them out of areas where they're probably going to drop their antlers.
That's true.
And you're spreading them out more. So don't do that.
Yeah. And stay on the roads. Unless they're closed.
With your buggies.
Unless they're closed.
Then walk.
Yes, please.
Yes,
I'm not even a shed hunter, and I actually have thought about maybe just tagging along with you. I don't care if I keep them, just to go out with you for some exercise this year.
That's great exercise.
Yeah.
I've said this before, but that's why I originally started, was just to get out of the gym in the winter and do something different. And cardio is always important in what we do anyway. So.
Sure.
So it's good.
I might have to get out there with you.
Yeah, you need to.
Go out there, maybe do an overnighter sometime.
Yeah, I like doing that too. It can be cold sometimes, but I've got heaters in my little tent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right on.
Cool.
All right, buddy. Well,
we just kind of wanted to
break the
get
ice.
the groove
again.
back on, right? Yeah.
I guess we should have introduced ourselves almost, huh?
Right. Yeah, probably wouldn't have been a bad idea, but it's too late for that.
Appreciate you guys' support, and we've gotten text messages and calls and stuff. When you guys do another podcast? And it's like, well, we got to get our schedules together, right?
We're a pretty small crew, so it's hard to.
If I had somebody to come and help my room,
Any volunteers?
I'd have a little more time.
For the record, I have not helped at all.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome.
You have your own stuff going on there.
I do.
Yeah.
It's like everybody. We're all busy.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll chop up some more with somebody maybe next week or something.
Yeah, we got some cool stuff coming that we know. And then more in the pipes that hopefully work out. And
Sagebuck Productions will be launching that this weekend.
we changed our name to Sagebuck Outdoors a couple years ago.
Yeah.
It's okay though. Yeah, so we'll be launching all our antelope stuff. I've got them all edited. We're just going to release one a week. So, then I got the mule deer hunts and
Jack's got his antelope.
Oh yeah, we got 2 Wyoming and antelope and a mule deer hunt in Wyoming.
Yeah.
My son filmed.
Cool.
They killed 2 antelope, but he only got his
One.
the one on film, which was his girlfriend's, and it's a beast.
A couple people that might be who said that they would contribute this year, buying some cameras and stuff.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Just
get
to
everybody
add in with
going.
the rest of ours. Yeah,
It's fun.
well.
And I filmed a moose hunt, which we'll probably drop that one at the end of our Idaho season. Will be our last hunt on that, and then we'll start the Wyoming
hunt.
stuff. It's a great hunt. It turned out awesome. You guys will love it.
Which we're hoping we're going to get Hobie on the podcast here for long and talk about his operation, and he's done some great things with veterans and hunt of a lifetime and good moose hunts.
Quality, some of the best moose and elk hunts in Idaho.
For sure.
For sure. Yeah. Probably most of the West, honestly.
Yeah.
So
cool. All right, brother.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
Smash that like button.
See ya.
Thanks.